If you thought that global warming was a myth, we're here to tell you that you're wrong, and that's a fact. But what is global warming? Well, it's the long-term heating our planet's climate system has been enduring since the pre-industrial period. Human activities, primarily fossil fuel burning, lead to heat trapping in the Earth's atmosphere, causing a greenhouse effect that warms our planet. That's the simplest possible explanation. The reality of it is that humans have caused irreparable damage to Earth, and there is no going back from this point. And in case you're a global warming skeptic, stick around to learn what will happen if we don't take care of our planet. But before we get to that, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. We're consuming more resources than ever. You would think that by now we would have self-driving cars, nanotechnology, and reusable rockets. Oh, wait, but we do. So why are we still relying on fossil fuels and consuming more energy and resources than ever? The answer is simple: profits. We're simply too reliant on fossil fuels, and it is in no one's interest to change that. The information we want to share with you comes straight from the NOAA, otherwise known as the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. You might have heard about their Sea Level Rise Viewer, which has a gut-wrenching portrayal of what could happen to the United States if sea levels continue to rise at the current rates. We'll let you in on a little secret. There would be a lot of floods, and people would need to move inland. And if we combine that with their latest map, we get the perfect recipe for a disaster. Their latest map. This time around, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration made a different map, one that shows what could happen over the next 70 years if temperatures continue to rise. The NOAA's interactive map can calculate how conditions could potentially change across the United States if we don't take care of emissions. The temperatures today are already higher than they should be, and by the time we get to the 2090s, our planet is going to be very, very hot and dry. If the emissions don't stabilize by 2029, Arizona, South Texas, and Florida will become so hot that colder weather in February will be non-existent. In California, where droughts are already a big issue, things will become much, much worse. But what about summer? This is where things get interesting, and a bit apocalyptic if you ask the NOAA. Add another decade of emissions to that, and by the time we get to 2039, our planet will become way hotter and less inhabitable in certain places. For example, Arizona will become even hotter, and colder areas such as the Pacific Northwest will start to heat up. And what happens if emissions continue to be unchecked? The decades between 2039 and 2059 will become excruciating for everyone across the United States. Bumping up the emissions just a bit will cause the 2050s July to look rather apocalyptic. The majority of the states would be experiencing daily temperatures of over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, so you can imagine the impact that would have on people. Heat strokes would become a part of our lives, and our hospitals would always be overcrowded. But what if we're able to stabilize the emissions? The thing is, we're already past the critical climate tipping points. Scientists across the world are gathering to see if there is anything we can do to reverse the effects. Even if we stopped using fossil fuels this very second, we've already done so much damage to our planet that there would hardly be any benefit to that. And if we're somehow able to at least stabilize emissions, the temperatures would still be blazing hot in the 2090s. Summers would be insanely hot, and you could go on a summer vacation in winter to northern Canada. The worst case scenario is continuing our lives without keeping the emissions in check, without acknowledging the impact we have on Earth, and not thinking of the future generations. This means that our 2090s would have summer temps over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and there wouldn't be any places to go on winter holidays. And just in case you're still reluctant to believe that humanity is the cause of global warming, ask your grandparents about the weather when they were younger. Ask them how many snow days they had, and how high or low temperatures would get. We're sure they'll have something to say about the way we treat our planet today. They will also say that we need to start making changes right now and do our best that the worst scenario doesn't happen. And together, we just might be able to pull it off.